it is in character to start that way, but the delivery of it is so fucking boring.
Yeah, it's a really fucking boring start for a really boring episode.
I guess good enough.
Really baffling choices.
I guess good enough, because if it was any better, it would be a standout, unfitting part of the episode.
Yeah, good enough is about as high as I'm willing to put it.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it in bad, because at least it's perfectly in character for Akuma to beat up someone in the tournament and then go, actually, I want to fight you. And Shao Kahn's like, well, I'm a bit of a Mortal combatant myself. And then they fight.
You know, I'm something of a combat myself.
Not even Mortal Kombat, just I'm something of a combat, you know? That's me. I'm the combat.
I'm something of a combat myself.
Shao Kahn just gets up and goes, combat time!
Combat time. Finish him.
Akuma's like, combat what? Just dies.
Fucking combat time. Combat what? Ooh!
Alright, Korra versus Storm. Korra is born out of her fucking mind and breaks the glacier. And then Storm shows up and goes, no, don't do that. And Korra says, what if I just did though? And then they fight.
It makes me think of I know I always bring up Team 4-Star in these, but it makes me think of in fucking Kai Abridged 3, I think it is, where it's like, no, don't wake up Android 16 for some reason. I'm gonna.
It might as well be that. Storm proves that she can discipline Korra. And kills her.
But not Garo.
Not Garo, though. No, obviously not. Yeah, this intro is literally just Korra gets bored. And I know a lot of people don't like that part. I don't know Korra well enough to, frankly, give a shit. And then Storm just shows up and tells her to go f*** herself.
I'm pretty sure it's between seasons 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 where there's a fucking like digital shop only like Wii game or some shit for Korra that was canon and important plot stuff to know that if you didn't get while it was on the shop, just get fucked, I guess.
Why don't you just digitally purchase me some shits to give, okay? This...
Honestly, yeah.
Korra Storm, it's fucking... Who cares? I hate to say that, because Korra fans get enough shit for the fact that they like a show that other people don't. But this is just not a good intro. This might as well be they show up and fight for no reason, if we're being honest.
I think just like comes down to the core of like, I don't fucking get why this is the matchup they went for, where it's like, I can understand not wanting to do Korra versus Rey, but like at that point, why this one?
I think it's just a bad intro, because like the intro, it makes no sense to me. Why is Storm like, you gotta be disciplined because Korra broke a glacier? Storm just frame one spawns out of nowhere like a Minecraft creeper and just goes, nah mate, cease. And Korra's like,
spawns it like the wither and her health bar slowly fills up.
Why don't, instead of I cease, you cease? And then they fight.
It sucks too, because fucking Storm is such a cool character. I think she could have had a lot cooler of a death battle than this.
Yeah, I saw a fucking post on Twitter where someone was like talking about the new X-Men, and they were like, ugh, look at Storm in this woke new masculine outfit. And I was just thinking, have you fucking read a comic? Do you fucking know what Storm wears like a lot of the time? Like just masculine.
Have you read the X-Men comics?
Quote unquote masculine.
Most of the
clothes.
X-Men main cast are not like straight. Like that is one of the queerest cast of characters in comics.
Yeah, like Storm's always wearing quote unquote masculine outfits. Like, as masculine as what they were complaining about. To the point where it's like, I think the outfit is directly based on, like, a panel in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid. Alright, Mad Aizen. Madara is there, and there's a big fire that happens because of, and Aizen goes, huh, you can see me. And Madara's like, I can see everything. And Aizen's like, are you sure about that? And appears behind him, and then they fight.
I'll say, The one thing that throws me off is I don't like how pink Aizen is.
The one thing that throws me off is all the animation is off. Like, aside
Yeah,
from
like, I
Madara's
mean, like,
eye,
I could
Madara's eye
deal
movement,
with the animation being the way it is, but it's just why is he so pink? Aizen is not that pink. Aizen's very pale.
yeah, I mean, that's one of the weird things. I guess it's because he's so pale, he's reflecting the light of the fire, but he just kind of stays pink, like, most of the fight. Like, basically all of it. Until he activates his cum form, he's just all pink. And, like, I just think the overdramatic way he, like, tosses off the sunnies and slicks back his hair. They're not sunnies, but I don't give a shit. Whips out the sword. It's like, what? Why is it gotta look like that?
That true that Glasgow's full of specky bombs. Off, yuck.
And it just starts, middle of butt fuck nowhere, fire happens. Who caused it? I still don't know.
Probably Madara.
I think it was
He
Madara.
threw a big fireball.
But, like, it might as well be they just showed up. It is just they showed up and fought for no reason. Like, it is. Why do they fight? Madara can see Aizen, and he wants to fight him.
They fight because it's Aizen and Madara.
Yeah, I know, but, like, I would have liked to see a bit more work put into it than literally just, let's just have a fire happen, and then Aizen's like, oh, you see me. And Madara's like, yeah, dickhead, why wouldn't I be able to? Because he doesn't know that he shouldn't be able to.
Do you not know who I am? Should I?
I don't, no, not...
It has very similar energy to that of, like, you can see me? He's like, should I not be able to?
I don't get it. Is this like a bit? Or, what? And then Aizen, like, just starts...
Like, okay, so, regardless of if you know what ninjas are or how chakra works, do my eyes look normal?
Oh, now that I actually look at them, you got some nasty cataracts. That's terrible. That's awful.
Your eyes are pretty f***ed up, man. You need some f***ing eye drops.
Wow, okay. I mean, you didn't have to go that far. I'm okay with you calling them normal. You didn't need to call them ugly.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you don't know anything about the Uchihas, but what you just said is kinda racist, a little bigoted.
And then, like, during their conversation, a meteor just crashes on Aizen. He just didn't notice it was coming down. It was,
uh-huh. You can see me.
Be goated.
Yeah, I think it's just they just showed up.
It's fine. It works.
I just feel like putting it. They showed up and fought for no reason because.
That's fair if that's where you want to put it. I just don't need much of a reason beyond, like, Aizen's whole motivation is to find someone strong enough to fucking prove that he's strong against. And then Madara's the guy.
I only know Madara. You know Aizen. If you think it's good enough, then, like, you have more say here than me because you actually know Aizen.
Yeah.
So.
Because I know both of these characters well enough to know that, like I know both of these characters well enough that if someone shows up that is it seems like they're going to be strong enough to provide an entertaining fight, they're not going to pass up the chance. That's just not who they are.
Speaking of you episodes, Saitama Popeye. Saitama goes to buy some spinach, and he looks at the price tag and goes, "What the fuck?" And then Popeye's like, and punches him.
Why would inflation target this? Who even eats spinach? Eat your f***ing vegetables.
Yeah, I was gonna eat, like, some f***ing broccoli.
I'm making, like, seaweed later tonight.
That's just lame spinach.
Spinach. Yeah, I feel like, it works.
Yeah.
Popeye really can have, like... Popeye, I feel like, is a loose enough character, especially because around the time, all his shorts needed to be were, like, funny. Popeye's not a very deep character. That something as simple as, like, oh, ye insulted me spinach. Whatever. It works.
Yeah, I think it's funny as well. Like, it is amusing. Just the way, like, the fucking image of Popeye reacts before he shows up. Yeah.
Well, blow me down. Why is he not eating your greens?
I didn't hear anything starting from down, so I'm just really confused what you said.
Oh, well, you should hear better.
I guess I can say it's basically perfect, because, like, you really can't do better Because, like, anything else you do is just going to be equally as, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Like, eh. Harley Quinn versus Jinx. Harley is in an abandoned amusement park that suddenly springs to life because of the ghosts inhabiting it. She wins a teddy bear, and then Jinx is shooting some birds, and then she accidentally shoots the teddy bear, and Harley decides to kill her. Good enough. Yeah. I feel like it could have been funnier.
It's whatever.
Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna. Zatanna is doing a show, and then she summons Scarlet Witch, and Scarlet Witch starts just dunking on her. And Zatanna's like, "What? F*** you! You fucking bitch!"
Yeah, more or less.
Why don't you go back to the Ultimate Universe and go suck your brother's cock, you f***ing whore? Start smacking her up.
I think honestly, the weirdest part about that scene is that Wolverine was in the bushes watching them do it.
I misheard that. I thought you said he was there in the death battle, watching them just have a go and didn't do anything.
No, in the Ultimate Comics, her and fucking Pietro are making out, and then Wolverine's just in a bush fucking watching them. I'm like, why? What are you doing here, bro? Get out of here.
Damn, bub, this is better than Pornhub.
I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do is voyeurism.
What I do is really creepy.
What I do is frowned upon by most people.
But what they do is more frowned upon. Except by me.
I'm technically not hurting anyone if they don't know I'm there.
Like, we've been hearing you talk to the hallucinations you've been having the whole time.
This is him pleading his case with the Avengers when they find out what he's been doing. He's like, if they don't know I'm there, it doesn't hurt them. And they're like, I don't think we want to be around you anymore, man.
Do you know what Scarlet Witch's powers are? You think she didn't know you were there? You think a fucking cosmic sense that can detect when someone takes a shit slightly too hard on the other end of the multiverse can't detect you in the bushes?
Yeah, like there's no way she didn't know, and that's a conversation we need to have with her separately. That's a talk that will be had, but right now the topic is you being fucking creepy, Logan.
Anyway, the episode, Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna. It is an intro.
Her name.
It is an intro, like by definition.
Yeah, it all right. Good enough.
Tanjiro versus Jonathan Joestar. We see that they are ready to throw hands, and Jonathan's like, I'm gonna beat up that kid. And Tanjiro's like, can you please not? And Jonathan's like, oh, you must be possessed then. And Tanjiro makes fun of him. Fight.
As if Jonathan hasn't had sympathy for undead and monsters before, like him and fucking Bruford didn't have, like, a fucking cool dynamic when they fought. As if he didn't still love Dio after everything he did.
Yeah, like, Jonathan's, like, I would argue, like, he's bearing on, like, that Superman Optimus Prime tier of super nice characters in Death Battle.
Where it's like, Jonathan is just, like... Because, like, the big thing about Jonathan is where, like, anybody else would see these monsters and go, oh shit, a monster. Jonathan looks and sees, man, it really sucks that this happened to this person. Because at some point they were a person just like I am.
Yeah. I think it's just not a good intro.
No.
Yeah, it's
pretty much entirely for Jonathan. But Tanjiro does have the weird line as well of, oh, did you hit your head?
I hear Tanjiro's supposed to be, like, all wholesome and nice. That's like, okay, why you come up with that?
Yeah, he's like, oh, did you hit your head? Oh, he's so cute like a puppy. I'm like, okay, so you assume this man is concussed, and then you call him cute like a puppy? What?
Now, I'm not going to put it in atrocious, just because we're about to go to Thor Jeter, and I know you have some opinions. Thor's carrying a tree when suddenly it explodes, and he shows up to see Vegeta there. He throws a hammer at Vegeta's face, and when Vegeta is understandably a little upset about that, Thor basically just mocks him, and Vegeta tries to kill him.
Excuse me, alien. Lightning hammer. What the f***? Don't throw that at me. Lightning hammer. Alright, that's it. We're fighting.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
That's pretty... That's pretty much what it is, and it's like Vegeta, I feel like, is relatively in character, where if someone just starts swinging on him, he's gonna fight back. But it's like Thor would not do that. Thor would not go up to some random dude and just f***ing hurl Mjolnir at them for no reason.
I also feel like the whole throw that hammer at me again and my business will be blah blah blah. It's like, I don't know if that's exactly what Vegeta would say. I don't know,
That's
feel
what
like
Team 4-Star Vegeta would say.
Team 4-Star Vegeta would say, but I think actual Vegeta would be like, what's the matter with you?
Because that's part of an issue that Death Battle had been running into for a while, of characterizing Dragon Ball characters as their Team 4-Star versions, where like a lot of the time they didn't change the characters much anyway. Like Hercule, I think, had been around by the time Dan Hercule happened, and you know, obviously that's not Hercule's like abridged voice actor, but you know, but like with Vegeta versus Shadow, very much abridged Vegeta. Goku versus Superman 1, and to an extent 2 as well, very much abridged Goku. And that a lot of that's seen here as well, because there's a couple of callbacks to Team 4-Star in the lines. There's so many callbacks to just existing lines for both in general throughout the fight, where almost none of the lines are f***ing original anyway. And it's like, as much as I do love Team 4-Star, and as much as I love Abridged, and as much as I think there's a lot of stuff it does even better than the original, that's just not what I'm coming to Death Battle to see when I see Vegeta versus Thor. I'm coming to see Dragon Ball's Vegeta. I'm here to see Akira Toriyama's Vegeta.
Yeah, though I mean, most Dragon Ball fans almost come across as if they've never read the manga, they only know the abridged.
I mean, for a lot of Dragon Ball fans, it's also just they know what they watched as a kid, and then what they've played through 1,000 video games, recapping it and dulling down everything into pretty much all fights, and so they get the idea in their head that this series is literally just all fights.
Yeah, I don't really like the intro. Like, first off, I assume Vegeta's meant to be training, but he literally is just trying to go Super Saiyan, which, like, okay, weird.
Like, yeah, I'm having trouble getting it up this morning. I guess I'm getting to that age.
Then Thor randomly throws a hammer, asks him what business he has, and then Vegeta goes full Team 4-Star by threatening him, which I just don't see Vegeta threatening him immediately. I mean, I could see him throwing in a threat, but I feel like he'd react to the hammer first, be like, what the f-?
Can you imagine if Thor threw Mjolnir and it just, like, f***ing nicked Vegeta in the side of the head, and he's just like, fuck, ow, shit.
And then when Vegeta's like understandably miffed, Thor just continues egging him on.
He's like, God, what was that thing made of? What did you throw at me? He's like, it was forged in the heart of a dying star. He's like, and you threw that at my head?
Yes.
It's like, ow, fuck.
Like, it's just a weird intro, and it's like oddly antagonistic from, like, if they made Vegeta oddly antagonistic, it'd be like, that's not really fitting, but at least, like, Vegeta does be like that sometimes. Thor...
Yeah, especially with Super f***ing flip-flopping on characters.
I guess you could argue it's perfectly in character for Super Vegeta to act like that.
Yeah.
It's just...
He meets a new Saiyan, and he's like, hey, can you go Super Saiyan yet? And he's like, no, cool. Want to have some trauma? Not particularly. I'm gonna kill your whole family. Gut punch, fuck.
Yeah, I think this is just a bad intro. It's not good. And now we're getting into one of the
Homelander Omni-Man.
one of the best ones in the show. Omni-Man comes home and finds that Homelander has killed his wife. And trying not to just immediately lose it, he calms down and kills Homelander.
Yeah.
It's great. Very characterful, full of personality. No notes, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty good. Magneto Tetsuo.
Magneto.
As I recall, Tetsuo is just being a bit of a dick, and Magneto's like, stop.
And Magneto shows up and insults the place, and Tetsuo is like, oi, old man! Piss off! And Magneto is like,
Fuck you, old man, the future is now.
Do you have any idea how old your manga is? It's like, it's not the future anymore.
He's like, "Ha, old man. That doesn't begin to describe how old I am."
I prefer ancient man.
I am really old,
You think
and I will be referred to as such.
you think you're hot but you can't hit me with the Holocaust beam, can you? So you're not gonna win this.
That's such a fucking cursed scene.
I love also the comments be like, I don't know how that affected Magneto. He's got the helmet on. And I'm just there thinking, read a fucking comic. That's a movie thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that is a movie thing. But also, the worst thing is, in the comics, I can't even entirely say I would put that past Charles.
Oh, I would say the least realistic part is that Charles needed to be convinced to do that to Magneto. He had to think about that. It wasn't just automatic on sight.
It's like, generally speaking, unprovoked, Charles probably wouldn't do that, but given, like, really any push, Charles has done way worse than just make someone relive PTSD.
Yeah. Someone brought up Professor X versus Gorilla Grodd to me, and I had to actually think, wait, is Gorilla Grodd, like, the better person between them?
I mean, well, Gorilla Grodd's a gorilla.
That sounds a bit racist, I'm gonna be honest.
We'll see the differences when we're comparing,
gorillas
who's
be
the
people.
better...
Gorillas can be people too.
No, not typically.
Look. Let's look at what we have coming up on this list. Okay, we have a monkey, we have a Yautja, we have whatever the hell Excalibur is. We got a half Saiyan, got a hedgehog, got a sponge.
Monkeys are not born from eggs.
We got a sponge. We got a deity. We got two more Saiyans. We got any number of things
Four
that
more
Dovahkiin,
Saiyans.
any number of things that Dovahkiin can be. We got a dead guy. We got a trash panda and a Snoopy,
Stitch.
like a freaky experiment thing. We got a cosmic bird. We got technically another cosmic bird, just of a different variety. We got a Martian. We got a man who is entirely grey. We got a triangle. We got a what the f*** abomination. We got a sentient virus. We got a robot. We got whatever the hell Freezer is. We got two dogs. We got whatever the hell the Doctor is, like a super mega time concept existence being. We have a Kryptonian. We have an energy being, and we have a god robot. A lot of those aren't humans, but would you say they're not people?
I'd say gorillas are not people.
Gorilla Grodd is a people.
No.
He is fully sentient,
disagree.
like a person. He's probably smarter than you. He's
I
even
don't fucking
taller.
care. He's not real.
Can't prove that.
How
Can't
tall
prove
is Gorilla Grodd? Gorillas aren't usually that tall.
Yeah, gorillas aren't usually that tall, but like every fictional gorilla is like 4 times the size of an actual gorilla.
Yeah, because it's like gorillas typically are like, what, 5'6", 5'7"?
Shorter than me.
Oh yeah, so fucking like
They're like
5'3",
they're like
5'4".
Ribbit theater height. Gorilla Grodd is 7'1". He's 7'1".
That is not a gorilla.
Is he taller than Donkey Kong? I think he's taller than Donkey Kong, isn't he?
It might
No,
be.
okay, Donkey Kong's 7'10". Donkey Kong's even taller.
Okay. Well, Donkey Kong and his family are a bunch of genetic freaks anyway.
So is Gorilla Grodd. It's so funny when like people bring up that like Optimus Primal is like ridiculously tall, and it's like, mate, he is like the one fictional gorilla who is the size of a gorilla in the original Beast Wars series. Like he's the fucking size of a gorilla. And no one ever brings up, you ever think about how just freakishly big Donkey Kong is? They just like accept that gorillas are that big. And it's like, no, he's like 3 times Mario's height. No way.
You ever think about for a gorilla that's hardly the most freakish thing about him?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more, like, his whole face is a bit, un-gorilla.
His whole body's a bit ungorilla. There's not a gorilla thing about him.
Yeah, why is he always standing, like, on 2 feet as well? Like, most of the time he's on 2 feet, and then
Why is he
sometimes...
brown?
Okay, we're gonna go back to Magneto Tetsuo after that one.
Magneto Tetsuo, it's fine.
I say it's good enough. It's not really exciting. I've not seen Heracles versus Sunum Hung, so what happens?
If I recall correctly, it starts off with a narration and then it zooms in, and Sun Wukong goes up to Hercules and he's like, or no, I think it's Hercules goes up to Sun Wukong. He's like, I want that peach. Give me the peach. And Sun Wukong's like, well, I was specifically told to come get this peach for another guy, so like I can't just give it to you. And Hercules is like, all right, I'll fight you for it. And so they fight.
That's pretty uninteresting. Good enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Boba Fett versus
well, I
the
mean,
Predator.
like it's not delivered as dull as I delivered it. I mean, Hercules is, but Sun Wukong is like cheeky about it.
From what I've seen of the sprites, they don't particularly look like the way they're supposed to, so they're lucky I'm giving them the benefit there.
From what you've seen of the thumbnail.
No, from what I've seen of I've seen the sprites. Heracles does not have this right hair, and he's not basically completely butt naked, though that one I'm okay with. And Sunum Hung just looks nothing like he's supposed to, and his staff looks like just a fucking bow staff. It's meant to be like, it's as thick as a dinner plate. It's not what it looks like.
It's a pillar.
It's a pillar. He's not meant to be swinging a tiny little staff.
Because he went to, what was it, the god of the sea, and was like, I need a weapon. And he's like, all right, I mean, I got some weapons here. He's like, I'm going to take this pillar.
More or less,
he's like,
yeah.
Why?
None of the weapons are good enough. He picked
why
up
would
the
you?
pillar.
Why are you taking my pillar? He's like, I don't know. I thought it'd be funny. He's
More
like,
or less.
Fair. It is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is the best weapon for him to use out of what he had to choose. Boba Fett versus the Predator. Boba Fett is walking through the area and finds a bunch of corpses, and then John Yaucha decides to shoot him, and Boba Fett goes no, and shoots first.
Who's to say what's in character for this completely made-up Yaucha?
Yeah, I mean, okay. I'm going to just project John Yaucha onto him. It is completely in character for John Yaucha to completely and utterly fuck up stealth and just get shot.
And then Boba Fett, kind of a known bungle nut. That's kind of his bit.
I think it's good enough. Like, it's not particularly inspiring. I think if it was animated better and also like good, then it would be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it was good, it would be good.
Yeah. Excalibur versus Raiden. Fuck, why did they fight? Oh, right. Raiden shows up to a place that's building a Tenno, and Excalibur's like, nah, mate, no, don't. Yeah. And then attacks him, and Raiden's like, piss off. If you don't leave,
I'm gonna break this thing. I'm gonna take it away, and I'm gonna get it.
If you don't leave right now, I'm going to throw slurs at you, okay? And Excalibur's like,
I'm gonna call you mean names. What are you gonna do then?
I'm gonna call you Philip.
Don't call me. That's not my name.
Too bad, Philip. How you like being a Philip? Philip?
Stop it,
Philip.
Stop it, black hole gun.
Oh shit! That was a real Philip move.
It's alright.
It's alright. It's good enough. Like, I don't know what else you do with Excalibur. John Wick versus James Bond
versus John Wick.
I don't know why I said the other way around. James Bond has clearly been sent to deal with John. He sets up the pen. He goes inside. He orders the drinks, acting all coy. Starts to strike up conversation. Then he whips out a gun. And he's like, anyway, die. And John Wick's like, you can't kill here. And James Bond's like, I literally can. And so John Wick pulls out a gun and shoots back. Very good.
He says specifically, permission from the Crown to put a scoundrel down. I've earned it. I'm licensed to kill. You couldn't get a learner's permit.
And John Wick just responds with, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, and John Wick responds with, ooh, I need a dinner reservation for one.
And Bond's like, that literally doesn't work.
It doesn't. That didn't rhyme. That didn't rhyme.
Then Austin Powers
Excremental ex-commando.
Then Austin Powers tries up and he tries to get back in, but he's still not allowed to.
I'm thinking I'm back, and I'm thinking you're expendable.
Alrighty, it's basically a perfect intro. It's very characterful, very full of personality, and very fits very well.
Yep.
Another good one, Black Adam vs. Apocalypse. I don't know why they went with the comic style for this matchup specifically, but it's not unfitting. Karndak
Because they
is
had to cook. It's the legacy matchup. Come on.
Karndak is under attack, and Black Adam's like, nah, that's not okay. And then Apocalypse says something in a garbled voice that's so distorted you can barely make it out, and then they throw hands.
He says, what is a man?
A miserable little pile, and then gets punched. He's like, I wasn't done.
I was doing my bit.
And Black Adam's like, you bit off more than you can chew. And Apocalypse is like,
He's
"Stop.
like, ah,
that's-
how clever. I get it.
That's alright, I guess." And just keeps getting thumped. I mean, that whole start of the fight is really janky, though, when they actually, like, the punching. And Apocalypse is just, like, limply raising his hand, like, stop it, stop it.
Stop.
I don't like that. It upsets me. You're hurting my feelings, Dwayne.
I'd say it's fine. It works.
I'd say it's good. Like, I can't even say good enough. Like, it is just outright a good intro. I feel like what brings it down for me is that Apocalypse's voice is just, it's not. I don't like it. The performance is good. The effects and everything added to it, it don't work for me. It's less easy to understand than my Soundwave voice. Trunks versus Silver.
Yeah.
This
It has kind of the issue that fucking Godzilla versus Kong ERB has, where it's like, yeah, I mean, the stuff being said here is pretty cool. The presentation's not bad, but fuck if I can understand a word being said by Godzilla.
Okay, what if I turned it into a not ERB between Red and Sonic.exe, though?
Be pretty funny.
Alright, Trunks Silver. Silver's flying, and then he suddenly gets attacked, and after, like, a good 30 seconds, Trunks pipes up, like, oh, by the way, I'm the time police. I'm here to, like, arrest you. And Silver's like, well, I don't agree with that. You know, I just don't think that's true. And then they fight.
You're under arrest for violating time patrol laws. Nuh-uh.
You're under arrest for violating my personal space.
You're under arrest for being a bitch.
Poopy head.
It's like, really? That's the best you could come up? It's no use!
Trunks is very much like a Bridge Trunks here, but Xenoverse Trunks honestly does give off more Bridge Trunks energy than Canon Trunks energy.
See, that's the thing, is that, like, so many people get the vibe from, like, Z Trunks. They're like, oh, yeah, in Dragon Ball Z, he's such a dork. He's such, like, a socially awkward guy. I'm like, he is in Abridged, but in actual Z, Trunks just isn't,
and
like...
arguably in the anime, like, I think they added some scenes for him that give more of that impression off.
But in the manga, at least, Trunks isn't the most interesting character. He's there to appeal to a lot of, like, Toriyama's interest and, like, infatuation with, like, Western 80s sci-fi stuff, like Terminator, Back to the Future, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's him. He's the Terminator guy.
Yeah. And, like... Xenoverse definitely plays more into that. In the manga, he's more of just like a good dude who's kind of like stressed out by life's given circumstances, and I can definitely like see the appeal there. But he's not as like dweebish as Xenoverse makes him out to be, where he's like, oh man, I keep messing everything up, and fucking Cronoa's like, yeah, but that's why we have the main character around.
Hmm.
He's like, I mean, you're like, you're strong in all Trunks, but like, come on.
I do think that like Xenoverse, if they were going to do a Bridge Trunks for Trunks in Death Battle, Xenoverse Trunks is the one where it does fit. He is very much more abridged in the Xenoverse series than in canon.
There should be an homage to his Sonic 06 boss fight where he just keeps getting fucking stun locked and just gets infinite looped by the telekinesis.
Mm. Yeah, the intro is a little uninspired. Just like it's fine, but like the presentation of like it takes a while before like Trunks says anything. He's just dead silent for most of the start.
Yeah,
I think it's good, but there's room for improvement with it. Like I don't see what else you would do for the intro. It does fit. Just Trunks kick this guy's ass. Okay. SpongeBob versus Aquaman. Aquaman shows up through a portal and see some horrible bootleg sprites get murdered, and then they fight. I mean, that the city's destroyed and Aquaman assumes SpongeBob's the bad guy, and they fight.
You're a supervillain, huh? And then they fight.
No, I'm not the villain. Not anymore. Your actions say otherwise.
Pretty much.
I guess it's just like I don't SpongeBob and Super Friends Aquaman, like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if he's characterized? I mean, he's not characterized correctly, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
it's good
just,
enough. I can't even say funny. I didn't find it very funny. It was just like, wasn't that amusing.
It works.
Jason versus Michael. They basically they show up and fight for no reason, because, like, that's what happens. Jason has a guy who's dead, and then Michael shows up and, like, stabs him, and then Jason decides he's no longer stabbed, and then I can't say they fight. They chase a guy, and then at the very end they fight.
Yeah, which, I mean, to be entirely fair, part of their whole, like, gimmick in each of their franchises is if you're around them, you're on the stab list, you're gonna get killed. So, I mean, you didn't even need to have them fighting over a body or anything. Honestly, you could have them just look at each other, stare each other down, and then try to just fucking stab each other. And then when both of them realize, like, hey, stabbing this guy's not doing a lot.
I'm still upset there wasn't just a scene where they just stab each other and they both just head tilt. Like, huh. That didn't do anything. That normally that does a bit more than nothing.
I'm still disappointed that the fucking screen time of these two actually fighting in this puts the fucking Godzilla 2014 to shame.
Yeah. It's a little embarrassing. One of the icons of horror, Michael Myers, has less than a minute of screen time in his own episode. And Jason, I think, gets just above a minute because of, like, the 18 seconds of him walking away. It's a good enough intro. Like, it's fine. I definitely think it could have been better. Actually, no, I'm gonna say straight up good, because, like, I remember when the preview came out, people were, like, genuinely hyped, because it was genuinely like, wow, that is a cool little intro. You got the cool coming out of the shadow thing for the attack. It was a good intro, but
it's a good intro conceptually, but I remember seeing it for the first time and being like,
the animation's a bit funky, yeah.
Not even the animation's a bit funky, because I'm like, I could live with it. It was more so just like, I don't know about this pacing. I don't know about this.
Yeah, I do remember pacing issues where you did bring that up, and they were a thing. But I was reasonably excited because I thought, okay, pacing's a bit fast, but they could slow down, and boy howdy did they. But
you overcorrected.
I wasn't wrong. They did slow down the pace. They did do that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sauron versus the Lich King. The Lich King is sitting on his big chair, and Sauron shows up like, this castle's mine.
I want that chair.
No mere man can stop me. And Lich King was like, well, what is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. And Sauron's like, I'm no mere man. He comes
up and he's like, give me your chair.
This is basically what Ganondorf Dracula was trying to do, but, like, there's no stupid forced lines, and, like, it looks a lot better. And the sound design is just delicious. I could eat up that sound design. So, it's going up to the top. I like it a lot.
I think that's fair.
Deku versus Asta. Deku walks out, and then Asta walks out and says, I'm gonna punch him real hard! And they fight in a tournament. And Asta does not question all this, like, technology around that from what I know, that should not be in Black Clover. But I know nothing about Black Clover. So hopefully I just upset a bunch of Black Clover fans who are going to complain about it in the comments. And be like, oh, actually, there's, like, phones everywhere.
Yeah. I'll say I know it's a complaint for a lot of people, and this I think does affect the, like, quality of, like, the opening of That's like the only time Lieb shows up in the animation, and I don't think Lieb says or does a thing. He
Yeah,
kinda
that's true.
floats there.
The only time, like, it's a thing, and then don't matter. Asta's literally just like, we got hit real hard, which apparently is also
But like I can
pretty
say the same thing about like Naruto Ichigo. You know, Kurama's there. Ichigo also has 2 voices inside of his head, and he doesn't really talk with either one of them. That said, this is Thousand Year Blood War Ichigo, where he's like unlocked the full extent of it. And typically with Soul Reapers, at least most of them we see, they can still hear the voices of their Zanpakuto, but they're not like in their fucking brain like Ichigo's are.
Deadpool has 3 episodes, and not a single one of them mentions either of the voices in his head. He has 3
Yeah,
episodes.
which I mean, for a while they haven't been there.
Yeah, but like, that's so weird.
Like, it's an iconic part of the character that has, I mean, just fallen by the wayside because it's not in the movie either.
Yeah, but like, that's
in
fine,
either
because
movie.
in the movie, he is a different character. He's not Deadpool. Not as in, like, he's not Deadpool the way I would make a not Deadpool. As in, like, he's not 616 Deadpool. He's a different Deadpool.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the thing of, like, the video game had it, and that was, like, the thing just before, or, like, just at, like, the break of Deadpool into fucking mainstream explosions. And then stuff like, the movies don't have it, a lot of his cartoons don't have it, his comics stopped having it, especially because one of the voices, it's revealed, was an old villain that was living inside of his head, and then he crawls out of his head and goes back to being his own guy. And so Deadpool just hasn't had those voices for a really long time, so as iconic as they are, it makes sense. But I'm pretty sure both White and Old Man Zangetsu are still inside of Ichigo. Those voices should still be there, so I don't know why they weren't brought up.
I will also just note on the Deadpool thing that he's had 3 episodes. One of them could have mentioned them.
Yeah, Deadpool versus Deathstroke was definitely closer to the time where he did still have them.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Deku Asta, it's not a good intro. Like, for someone who's not seen either series, it's fine. And like, in Deku's side, it's like, yeah, I mean, that's Deku. That's what he does. But, from what I've heard, Asta is basically characterized like Mashi, or Mash from Mashi. In that just meatheads solve everything with brute force, when that he's not supposed to be that way.
It's Mashal, Magic and Muscle.
Yeah, well, I wanted to annoy people. Because I was annoyed with the conversation on Twitter. So, I'm allowed to annoy people back when they annoy me. Fucking tomatoes.
Yeah, and I'm allowed to correct you because it's what I do.
Yeah, and then when other people correct people, you get mad at them for doing it. You're like, that's my thing. Don't do my thing. That's my gimmick. That's my character.
Yeah, because they're infringing on my bit.
Exactly. Anyway, Deku Asta, bad. Bad tier. Not atrocious because Deku is pretty on brand.
Gogeta versus Vegito, I think, should be bottom of the list just for being what it is.
Okay. Wiz and Boomstick, or Boomstick wishes to see them fight with the Dragon Balls, summoning Goku and Vegeta. They do a little dance and they fight. I think.
No, you want me to go more in depth? You want me to go more in depth on why this intro sucks? Why this intro is fucking dog shit?
Have at it.
This intro is dog shit because this whole thing where it's Goku and Vegeta, and they're like, we're gonna fuse and see which one's stronger between Vegito and Gogeta, has happened at least 1,000 fucking times in other Dragon Ball stuff, and pretty much the only difference is that there wasn't a short joke there, which realistically I doubt would happen anyway, because I don't recall Goku ever making that many comments about Vegeta's height. That's neither here nor there. But it's like, with all of these other, like, every other matchup here, they have the potential to provide interactions that not only help you get a good sense of the characters if you haven't seen them, but will pay off, you know, the characters acting as they should act if you do know them, and pay off some amount of crossover potential between these two characters meeting when they otherwise couldn't. And this doesn't do that. Not only are these characters that have met 1,000 times before, not only are these literally the same character, it's not like a different Vegito and a different Gogeta, it's Xeno, Goku, and Vegeta for both, so it is the same characters. but it is the same interactions and the same circumstances we've seen them fight under so many fucking times in actual official Dragon Ball stuff. It is beyond pointless, beyond asinine, and it's worthless.
I mean, most of the episode's animation is just, here's something you've literally already seen happen, but now it's Gogeta and Vegeta doing it. So, like, basically...
It's like, the sure is Dragon Ball fighting.
Basically, everything Gogeta does is from his fight with Broly. And, like, there's one bit that completely fails to replicate the joke from his Omega Shenron fight. And then he just does a Broly thing.
Yeah, and it sucks, too. Because, like, this fight encapsulates what people see Dragon Ball Z / Super action as, because it's what a lot of the spin-offs portray it as, and what a lot of the video games portray it as just flying around, high-paced movement, shoot a bunch of laser beams and whatnot, which,
completely
to
mindless.
be fair, a lot of Dragon Ball is like that, but it completely misses that, especially towards the Saiyan, and from, I would say, the 25th Tenkaichi Budokai to the Namek Saga, which is about 3 arcs. Akira Toriyama was on top of his fucking game. He had such a good sense of space, such a good sense of action, such a good sense of movement, such a good sense of, like, actual fight and choreography happening while mixing in the high-speed movement and laser beams. This is Dragon Ball fighting at its most watered down, where it is just, look at all the particle effects on these big beams clashing.
And it literally is Dragon Ball watered down, because because basically everything is just derived from something else, including sometimes from Death Battle's other episodes.
And it's just like, this is the world's most fucking redundant versus episode ever. Like, I say that, I have to put an asterisk there, because I'm sure Cartoon Fight Club has something that's going to prove me wrong.
Yeah, almost certainly. And DBX has
most
Hulk.
redundant death battle, at least by a
DBX
mile.
has Hulk versus Juggernaut.
Yeah.
So, and Taskmaster versus Gambit.
At the very least, those are 2 different people.
True, but the difference is that Gogeta and Vegeta at least have never fought in, like, canon, just in, like, other offshoot media. Hulk, Juggernaut have just regularly kicked the crap out of each other.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Ant-Man Atom. The Atom shows up, or Raymond shows up in Hank's office, and he's like, "This is amazing. How'd you do this?" And Hank's like,
"This is
"You'll
sacred
find
grounds. You shouldn't be here. You need to leave."
Yeah, basically. It sure does happen.
Yeah, it's fine. It works.
Yeah, it's good enough.
That's a cool campfire, dipshit. What if I put it out? Don't.
The Dovahkiin undead, it's basically perfect. It's just like, yeah, what else is gonna happen, huh? Someone tells the Dovahkiin to kick the crap out of this guy, and he's like, that's a cool quest, I'll do it. And then it happens.
And then the guy he's going to kick the crap out of is like, uh-oh.
Oh, roll. Yeah, and it's
well,
just,
no, that's a little later. That's a little later this season.
I think the shots are pretty good too. Like, just the build up is good. Killua versus Mikasa Ackerman. Killua finds a coin, and Rina is like, "Oi, that's my coin!" And Killua's like, "Yeah, it sure is." And then they fight.
Yep.
Or it's a badge. It might have been a badge. I don't remember.
It's a coin.
It's a coin? Does Rina explicitly say that? Because I don't remember the episode.
Well, that's her thing. It's her lucky coin.
That's my coin. Don't give it back. No.
But I can't speak too much on Misaka's characterization, because even after watching the episode a few times over, I feel like I know fuck all about the series. I don't feel like a single word of it got retained in my head. But I also just don't know anything about it through just auxiliary means. Killua, however, wouldn't do that. Killua's not above killing someone because he's from a family of assassins and whatnot, but he's not rude.
Kind of acts like a normal bratty kid, I'm gonna be honest. Just from what I know, acting like a normal kid is explicitly not a Killua thing.
Yeah, Killa was not normal, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but he wouldn't just pick up someone's coin and go, I'm gonna take your coin. Haha, what you do, fight me about it? He wouldn't do that.
Alright, it's bad. I don't know either well enough to say it's atrocious, and neither of us know Rena at all here, so... Yeah. Vader versus Obito. Vader shows up on sacred ground, but this time he's the aggressor. He's like, I want your eyeball. And Obito's like, good for you. And they fight.
It's so sad that my wife died of ligma.
But what is ligma?
I don't want to talk about it.
Fight.
Fight!
It's a fine intro. I mean, I would like a Star Wars episode other than Luke versus Harry to take place in a Star Wars location. Like, is that really
I'm just glad
so
it's
much
another Naruto episode that isn't you're somewhere you shouldn't be, you need to leave.
Instead, it's you're somewhere you shouldn't be, but I don't really care. Yeah, well, I care.
You look funny. I'm gonna hurt you.
Nice mask, dipshit. Who do you think you are, Dream?
You couldn't even begin to fathom what the point of the mask is.
Is it to cover your face?
No.
Why did your ears twitch when I say the word dream? Are you thinking of something funny there?
Yeah, I see. I got a plan with a big tree. It's gonna make a lot of people dream all at once.
I hate plants. And also we're on a beach, so I'm really pissed off. Like, you underestimate...
I hate trees. They're coarse and rough and get everywhere.
I literally, I went to another planet and I was like, ooh, hopefully this place has no trees. Guess what I find? Fucking trees everywhere. Whole place. Green everything.
Not only were there trees, there were bears in the trees with slingshots. They shot so much shit at me.
There were big trees, little trees, short trees, wide trees, upside down trees, backwards facing, spacing, all these trees. Too many trees.
I thought if I ever see another tree in my life, I'm gonna fucking end it.
And you know what? I did. And it felt good.
I saw another tree. Here you are. I thought I found a place with no trees. You're trying to build a tree. And frankly, I don't appreciate that.
Just promise me you're not going to put a tree in front of me. Can you promise that?
I'm totally gonna make a tree.
You're gonna fucking die, actually. Fight. That's the intro. Like, Vader shows up, he wants an eyeball, and Obito's like...
And then to rub salt in the wound, Obito kills him with a big tree.
To rub sand in the wound, yeah. This is basically Dante Bayonetta's intro, and I said that was basically perfect, so this is pretty good. Yeah, like,
Vader Obito or Stitch Rocket?
Vader Obito.
Okay.
I don't think you could really improve it just because it plays so well into like the rest of the episode. Like, if you changed it to try and make it better, it just wouldn't fit as well anymore, I don't think. Stitch Rocket.
Right.
Rocket is fixing up the MCU Guardians of the Galaxy ship when Stitch explodes out of a volcano, crashes in, destroys everything, and then tells him to fuck his mama.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense. I think both characters are relatively on point.
From what I know, Rocket in the comics is a lot more unhinged than what I know him for, so him just randomly shooting someone...
Rocket's an ornery little bastard is what he is.
Him shooting someone for accidentally crashing into his ship, that's yeah.
At the very least, he'd pull a gun on them.
I think it's basically perfect, yeah, it's funny and works. Raven Phoenix. Raven is meditating and she sees an image of fire, and sure enough, the Phoenix shows up and tells her she's gotta die. And Raven says, why don't you instead, actually? And then Raven doesn't die, and Phoenix does instead.
He says, haha, I'm going to kill you. And she says, magic cylinder.
Basically, yeah. What if I used Mirror Force, actually, on you?
Magic cylinder.
Either works. Phoenix is like, I'm gonna bust out my boundless scaling, and Raven's like, I use solemn judgment to like stop that. Sorry, I just MST'd your comics where that exists, so you know, you don't get that anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm going to die and then resurrect myself. Called by the grave.
Yeah, too bad. So sad.
Get banished, idiot.
What if you just like didn't?
I'm gonna use my Raven power Ash Blossom. Fuck you.
Yeah. Haha, I finally got you on the back foot, Raven. Yeah, I just got the last piece of Exodia, so yeah.
So, sorry, you didn't have Mystical Space Typhoon or Harpy's Feather Duster, so my Destiny board filled out. Neener, neener, neener.
Look, it spells final. What?
I had it wrong, so it spells fillin'.
But like, you know, cannot like the rules. The rules. I'm sure you can errata them to work for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's literally just Raven is meditating and Phoenix shows up. Like, the demon inside you's too strong, so you're gonna die now.
Bye bye.
I really have no opinion on this. Like, it's good enough. Whatever.
Yeah, you're alright.
Guts Dimitri goes into the tier because it's like they're already fighting.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah, they're already fighting, but there's also just like some of the dialogue's a little edgy and forced. I mean, to be fair, that's just how these characters.
I have
kinda
heard
be,
that is how
but
Dimitri
at the
is.
same time,
Like Guts, I wouldn't say he's being
Yeah.
edgy and forced. I say Guts is just he seems like he doesn't want to be there. He's got better things to do tonight than die, but he really doesn't get a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Dimitri, from what I've heard, he is acting in
yeah.
character, and that makes me like Dimitri more because he seems like such a fucking loser. And I'm like, I like that. I like that he's just a.
Oh yeah, he definitely is.
He embodies that I'd win energy.
But it's like, yeah, Dimitri's in character, but I'm like, that's
I
don't know.
100
The angst is a little much. It's just
100
a
men
little much.
strong. What drives your slaughter? Shut up. What are you saying? You're Japanese. Can you not speak English properly? Like, jeez, man. And then it's just in the tier. Martian Manhunter Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer has arrived in a space box, and Martian Manhunter's telling him, "You're a bit sus, and I've been investigating things." And Silver Surfer's like, "I don't want you to read my mind," and flies away. And Manhunter comes out like, "Get back here, pussy!"
He's like, no, you'll never catch me while you're distracted by my NES game soundtrack. Ooh-ah! He's like, joke's on you, I don't listen to music. I read books. He goes,
Joke's on you, I'm a contrarian, and I think the soundtrack sucks, but the gameplay is pretty damn good.
Oh,
My one weakness.
this is the ultimate counter to the power cosmic. The wrong opinion.
Martian Manhunter uses telekinesis to put a wall in front of Silver Surfer. It, like, clips one plank length of his board, and Silver Surfer just collapses. Just dies on the spot.
Yeah, he just fucking eats shit.
Someone fucking commented on my, like, latest video, right? They were like, my dad's a big Silver Surfer fan. He'd break your bones if he found out that you said that you think Martian Manhunter should win. And I'm like, no, I think Silver Surfer should have won even harder than the episode tried to make it out. I think it's one of the most unfair battles in the entire season. They just were shit at conveying that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a bigger stomp than most people in the community do.
Well, I think this setup is a little weird.
Yeah, I think it's good, but it has a few problems. At least it's like it's going for something. It's trying something. And like I'm staring at a screen with Gogito on it. So the effort counts.
Yeah.
Though we are going to get a new top tier here with Bill Cipher Discord. We see that Weird Mageddon has happened in Equestria, and Bill Cipher is being a coy dickhead. Discord shows up to fucking get rid of him. Yeah, what else? Like, it manages to find the perfect balance between being dark without being needlessly edgy and still fitting in with My Little Pony.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It works.
Colex. There is a helicopter, and then there's no longer a helicopter. There is a food delivery. And Cole's like, hey, no, don't do that. And Alex goes, what if I did, but, like, I did it to you? And Cole's like, you are stupid. And then they fight.
Alex shows up and he vorts somebody, and Cole's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's basically what was attempted. I think like, what else do you do? Like, for what they're going for with like the edgy, this is a battle that you would play Linkin Park behind sort of animation. Like, yeah, it's basically perfect. What else do you do?
I will say, they use it for the sake of the bit for being an edgy song. One Step Closer is a good song though.
Alright, I've not watched Friezatron. What happens? I assume Frieza shows up at Cybertron and Megatron tells him to piss off.
Yeah, Frieza fucking shows up. He's like, I'm going to conquer this planet because something, I rule planets. And Megatron is like, I would sooner see my planet reduced to ash than ruled over by organic scum like you.
Okay.
And then they start fighting.
That's good enough.
Megatron, like, Frieza's like, I'm gonna take over your planet. And Megatron's like, no. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let you do that.
Good enough. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's about what you'd expect.
Yeah, I mean, unless they went with, like, cartoon Megatron, where it would be something really fucking funny. But, no. Alright. Gojo Makima. Makima is watching a movie, and by a movie, I mean Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai, and Gojo's been dispatched to get rid of her. So he's being a dickhead, invading her privacy, getting all up in her personal space, slurping loudly, taking a big gulp, eating her popcorn, and she just loses it. She just decides this guy's gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, Gojo being a fucking loud, annoying cunt to whoever he's up against is so in character.
And Makima, just not being okay with that.
Yeah. And, like, her very understated tone about it, too. No talking during the movie.
Yeah. Basically perfect, I assume. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason they fight, Gojo's been sent to get rid of her, and she does not want to be gotten rid of.
Yeah.
Scooby versus Courage. They are both in a building, and they bump into each other, and they're like, haha! That's good, my friend! And then Courage is like, oh, there's a monster. You deal with it, not me.
Yeah, I think that's the one bit of, like, I don't think Courage would shove him, but otherwise, like, it works. It's good.
I'd say basically perfect, because that's a concession you have to have for the sake of it. That's where the basically comes in, not literally perfect. Rick versus the Doctor. Rick, with some really bad voice acting, gets annoyed, and the Doctor comes out like, oi, piss off, man, and flies off, and Rick's like, oh, Morty! Oh, we gotta kill that guy, Morty! And then he tries and he fails. Doesn't work. He dies.
I think it works. I think it's a good... I think it captures both characters pretty well.
I think it's good, but this is a case where, like, the delivery of it, with, like, I don't like Rick's voice acting. I just don't.
I think it's still in good.
Go Superman. They're already fighting. So,
Yeah.
I made a tier literally for that. And then Galactus versus Unicron. Unicron shows up to eat Earth, and then... Oh, sorry, Galactus shows up to eat Earth. Unicron shows up, Galactus tells him to piss off. Unicron says the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard, and then they fight.
Unicron goes, Galactus will never be ballin'. And then Galactus holds him like a basketball and goes, objection, Galactus fucking ballin'. And then
Galactus
fucking
goes to
dribbles
dunk
them
him in
and
a hoop, but Unicron just, like, opens his horns up and, like, just stops himself from going through, and Galactus is like, oh, fought it again.
Yeah, Galactus is just like, oh.
Unicron just transforms into a basketball hoop and is like, what are you balling with now, bitch? And Galactus tries to keep dunking all these planets, but Unicron just keeps, like, moving the hoop.
That's what the episode should have been. It should have been just a basketball match.
You are annoying me, Unicron. That would be what they call a skill issue.
First of all, your cross-up game is weak. Second of all, you can't shoot three-pointers to save your life. And third, your Jordans are fake.
Galactus, I refuse to take shit from a man who wears that on his head. I mean, look at you. You look like an absolute moron. What's going on with that thing?
That's rich coming from you, considering what literally is your head.
Oi, Galactus, I got a phone call for you. It's Molecule Man. He wants his trash can hat back.
Okay, toy commercial.
Yeah, that's me. You got a problem with that?
Nah, valid. Get that bag.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to make a living. If the stupid little children want a toy of Satan, I mean, why not? That is biblically accurate for Satan to do that.
The Satan action figure.
Harvesting our greed. I would say Galactus Unicron is good enough. Like, the concept is, yeah. Unicron's line
Yeah,
is
of
like,
course.
why Unicron be boasting like that? Who does Unicron think he is? Galactus? That ain't Unicron. He don't do that. And I don't like the voice. I still don't like it. I mean, it's not bad. It's just they don't vibe. And just it's like, begone, thus decrees Unicron, Chaos Bringer. It's like that. You're not literally the Chaos Bringer. That's a title that the pathetic mortals have given you.
You no longer face Oroku Saki. Now you stand against the Shredder.
It does kind of sound like that. It does kind of sound a bit like that. Like, Unicron saying that is if I was like, begone, Donovan, thus decrees Nemesis Bloodreich, the guy who hates Death Battle.
It'd be like, well, hold on a minute. That's not your accent.
Yeah, that's what Galactus would say if Unicron started just speaking in a normal voice with like a faint Aussie accent. It's like, now hold on a second.
I think that's it. I think that's the video.
Yeah, that's video over. Bye, everyone.